Welcome back. A psychological thriller, a set piece. We see many films in which there are a variety of decisions made about logistics in which to tell a story. This morning, we take a look at a film that starts with a simple idea and premise, developed into a narrative arc and a screenplay that has captured the attention of everyone here at Sundance, including Magnolia Pictures. A deal announced just yesterday, maybe even just last evening, for a film that is garnering a great deal of attention, not only for the decisions made in how to tell the story, but also for the actor who is in the center of the frame for pretty much the entire film. I'm pleased to be joined by the storyteller, the filmmaker, Gustav Moller, and its star in the center of the frame, Jakob Cedergren. Fellas, welcome, congratulations, nice to see you. Gustav, let's talk about your decision to keep this telling of this story very, very simple. And for folks who aren't familiar, maybe give us the quick synopsis of your character.
Yeah, sure. So the quick synopsis is that it's a thriller set in real time in one location. And we follow a police officer that has been removed from street duty and set to work as an alarm central dispatcher. And basically the setup of the film is him getting a call from a kidnapped woman. She's sitting next to her abductor in a car, and the abductor is not realizing who she's on the phone with. So this is the starting point of the film. And yeah, the call gets disconnected, and our protagonist, played by Jakob, has to try and find her, basically.
And that decision to lean in and of course the larger perspective of somebody who's kind of in, as we say, the doghouse and resigned to desk duty and taking calls, kind of creates a tension in the character that putting on top the story arc of what's happening event-wise kind of doubles down right at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. Like the whole idea with doing the film entirely set in an alarm central, not cutting our way to the people he's talking to. That actually came from me that when I found a YouTube clip from real life, a real 911 call. So I just had sound, and I had so many images. Listening to only sound, I created my own images, and I realized that every single person listening to that sound would create their own images. So that was like the starting point and the premise of the film. And in regards to the arena, and why it's also interesting to watch, I think, is because it is quite a special job these dispatchers have. They are so close to something violent and traumatic with the sound, but still they are so far away. They're so distant to it, and it's also their job to stay professional and distant to it. And that correlation between this intimate violent thing and this distant thing, that was what interested me in their job, but also as a cinematic tool and contrast,
I always find that as we go deeper into the film festival, I think more about kind of your producer's hat of you come up with a great idea, you write the script, you feel good about the way that the story unfolds for you and the way that you translate the idea of a story into dialogue within the story arc. But at some point, and I'm thinking of, you must both have people or person in mind, but in the end, this film succeeds or fails on casting because you've made such a commitment to saying, okay, this character, this central character of which there's hardly any others, the film either works or it doesn't based on that. Talk about casting and how you thought about that as you had the story.
Yeah, so I knew I needed a great actor. And basically what I did is, without really going into a specific type of what I wanted, I just told my casting agents who I thought were the best actors in Denmark, and they all responded to that, so everyone came into casting, even though it was my feature film debut. No one of them knew me, but they all came in, so that was cool. And basically, I had them all just sit and talk on the phone, because I knew they were all great. It wasn't about seeing, okay, can these guys act? It was about seeing who would I be interested in looking at for 90 minutes. And Jakob was a standout for me in that regard. obviously he's a fantastic actor, but the thing that got me was like his eyes. It's like, it feels like he's keeping a secret from you. And you could read a lot into his eyes. And in the film, a lot of the film is the sound design and us creating images on our own from that. So we needed a portal as well to help us with that. And I think Jakob was like an amazing choice for that.
When you make the conscious decision to take away a lot of elements that you could have used, locations and more actors and that kind of thing, you know, every single thing that you rely on becomes that much more important.
Exactly, yeah.
Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Talk about that process as an actor where you get a script. Did you see the full script, or was it just a premise to go in to read or to share?
Yeah, I was so at this audition. It was quite early in the process, and which was intentional by Gustav and the writer and the whole project. So I got involved in when they had the story and stuff, but were developing the last pieces. So I was taking part of that. It's part of the process. So, but yeah, I mean, otherwise it's the even though it's a special, of course, project, which is fun. But the work, I mean, to build character and everything is always, you know, the same in a way that, you know, you start do your research and, you know, blah blah. It's just the difference here was that I was, yeah, this very special kind of project. So it was fun.
Unique and different.
Yeah, absolutely. And also in the way we shot and everything was, yeah, but it was great. I mean, a lot of fun.
I think a lot in terms of analogies, and I'm imagining that as an actor, you look at what this opportunity is, and I'm sure you have many experiences of working in beautiful ensemble situations in your career, and here comes a situation that the analogy to a great adventure.
Sure, but it's very much an ensemble piece, I felt. Although, I mean, the other actors were in another room acting out live while we were doing it. So, I mean, it was an ensemble. It's just that I'm the one that's on screen, but also the whole team. I mean, the sound, the DP, the whole, which was the thrill of it also. I mean, it's teamwork still, even though...
The ultimate collaborative medium.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise it doesn't work.
Talk about a thing that is always interesting to me when you decide how you tell the story. In this case, we know only a little bit about Jakob's character and what has happened, so we get to this backstory concept. And how did you guys collaborate in terms of developing that? Was that something that you had shared a great deal of, or did you work on that together, or did you leave it to Jakob as an actor to do some of that?
I mean, in the film, a lot of things stay a mystery that wasn't a mystery to Jakob when we shot it. Part of it because we had discussed it and like gone into my ideas of his backstory and whatnot. But part of it is also actually that there was more of his backstory in the first cut of the film. So the editing process, like the structure of the film, it's basically the same from day one to the last day of editing. Not a lot has changed there. The major thing has been how much information about the character to peel off, really to keep the audience intrigued, and also to keep the audience imagining, just not about, you know, the whole kidnapping situation and the sound design we're trying to build there, but also like, who is this guy? So you give them a little bit, then you start to create your own things. Give them too much, and you just get like, okay, fine, that's who that guy is. You know, you want to keep him like this in the seat. You know, so yeah.
Do you include any kind of veer off moments where maybe you throw a little trick to the audience so that maybe they're a little bit more attentive? I think of the situation where as you tell the story, it's like a story unfolds and any viewer kind of makes assumptions and jumps ahead. Did you add little bits to kind of maybe keep the audience on their toes a little bit in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely about working with the audience's assumptions of a situation. That is like the gift of the audience not seeing what is actually going on. So I don't want to go too much more into that because I don't want to spoil anything for people, but So did that, and also to throw people off. We have this narrative of the kidnapping, but we also tried to throw in things completely from the side. Random calls basically. It's like a road trip, and he can try and steer his way throughout the plot. But there are people like hitchhikers basically getting on his ride all of the time because he's at work, and people start calling.
Talk about your communication as actor and storyteller of this idea that there are boundaries, there are lines that your protagonist crosses because of the situation, because of being on desk duty, because of an upcoming big event that is to take place, that is surely huge in his mind when he's sitting with an earpiece in and taking calls, but then this decision is made to, with almost no resources whatsoever, try to solve this real-time situation. It's not a murder that was over, it's a living person out there who is continuing to be in danger. Talk about how you make that decision with the character and how you embody those lines you cross when maybe tomorrow you have even more problems about that.
I mean, to not give it too long of an answer on how the idea with the character come up, basically it was from research. Talking to, again, not to go into spoilers, but talking to police officers that have been in a similar situation as Jakob's character has in the film. So that is where the character comes from, and maybe you want to talk about the process of it, portraying it.
Thank you. Through research, you get bits and pieces of what you need to kind of create this, what it's like started as an idea, but it's also, it starts out with the idea that what kind of story you want to tell, and then during the research, it adds to the story, and it was interesting, really. It gives a kind of meaning to it when you're in the research process also, which is great.
It seems to me one of the really cool, beautiful things about all of these films that we see at the Sundance Film Festival is that first-time director. Of course, you have experiences that you bring, so to say first-time director in some ways is a little maybe misleading. Obviously, you see the script or you see the premise, but even so, the first time on set as a director, as the boss of a film shoot, talk about your collaboration in the sense that there's this nominal thing that we have a new person in that role, and of course you've been an actor and been in these situations many times.
I didn't think about it much, I must admit. I never felt like, oh, that's such a first-time thing to do. Or no, seriously, it was. They were an amazing group. They all been to film school together, so they were kind of like a band. Been working together a lot, which I could feel, and it was just fantastic to become a part of. But it is the first time I felt that I was the oldest on set. So that was a new experience, but I'll take it. And no, it was great. I didn't think about much that this was a first time, or it's focus on the project and
those things go away once you just get into.
We had the story to do and and we had like 13 days to do it. So once we started working, we just go at it.
Make it good.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you did a deal with Magnolia. Fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Talk about what happens from here. Obviously, that's a big part of coming to the film festival. Talk about art, it's great, and talk about your film, but in the end, it is a commercial enterprise. You had to raise your hand and ask for a production budget and those kind of things. That pressure is off. Talk about what happens now. More screenings here, and then you continue on the circuit?
Yeah, we're doing tonight at Redstone, 10 p.m. Then we're doing tomorrow around noon at the Sundance Mountain Resort, and we got our final screening Saturday. I think it's at 9 at Temple. And then on Sunday we go to Rotterdam Film Festival, where we're also in the competition, and then we go to Gothenburg Film Festival.
Nice.
So and then we go home.
That's home, man.
That's my hometown actually.
It's hometown.
But then we go home
And then
to Copenhagen.
home. Yeah.
But yeah, obviously it's fantastic with the sale to Magnolia, and we have some more in the pipeline to the rest of the world. So it's absolutely fantastic that this film gets to get out in cinemas around the world. So yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So happy for you guys.
Thank you so much.
I want to say also congratulations for having the strength to make it a simple logistical shoot and to tell the story in a way that maybe you lean on more variety on screen and those kind of things. And to me, that's kind of the essence of what a film festival means, is for people to make choices and to say, believe in the idea, believe in the story, and it worked. And that's a really cool thing. And to both of you guys, congratulations. Thank you for coming. And we appreciate your time. Have a wonderful time. And maybe we see you at the awards on Saturday night.
Well, we're going to be there.
Look forward to that. We'll look for you up on the stage. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Jakob and Gustav, the film is The Guilty, a great success here at the festival, and of course it will continue on, and as they say, into the theaters, which really in the end is what we all hope for. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with more show after this.